Section 3.4 study guide, first problem. So here's what we're going to do. We're basically going to use a chain rule first because this is something to the fourth power, and then we're going to have to use a quotient rule to find the derivative of the inside. All right, so here, this is what it looks like. So I say g prime of x equals, bring the exponent to the front, times the same quantity, to the 4 minus 1 power times the derivative of the inside. So times the derivative of the inside. So I'm going to take a quick side hustle detour to evaluate this whole derivative here, and then I will continue back on this sheet. So because the steps involved in the differentiation of this quantity here, of this expression, are so extensive, I'm going to do it on the side, and then I will return back and complete this problem once I've simplified just this derivative. So we see that we have to use the quotient rule here. And remember the quotient rule, when you have a function u over v, the derivative of that function is u prime v minus uv prime over v squared. So let's do that. So u prime is the numerator, and the derivative of that is just going to be 3 times 5, 15x squared, times v, the denominator, minus, product rule is plus, quotient rule is minus, the numerator, times the derivative of the denominator. The derivative of 6x minus 5 is just 6, all over the denominator squared. So now let's distribute, and then we will try and simplify this as much as possible. 15x squared times 6x, well, that's going to be 90x to the third, minus 15x squared times 5, that's going to be 75x squared, minus, so let's do the multiplication first, then we'll worry about distributing this sign. So if we try to do too many things, we might make a mistake. So let's right now just focus on distributing the 6. We'll keep the parentheses for now, and then we'll distribute the minus sign. 6 times 5x cubed, that's going to be 30x cubed. And 6 times minus 8, that's going to be minus 48, all over 6 minus 5 squared. Now let's distribute the minus sign. So everything else stays the same for now. Minus 30x cubed plus 48 all over 6x minus 5 squared. Now we can begin to collect and combine the like terms, which there's only two, 90x cubed minus 30x cubed. So the final version of this expression is going to be 60x cubed minus 75x squared plus 48 all over 6 minus 5 squared. Well, what was this? Remember, this was just the derivative of the inside, in which we had to use the quotient rule. So that should be just the derivative of the quotient rule part that we did. So now let's go back to our original problem. So now I've just solved for this. So I bring everything down. And I replace d dx of this thing by what we just did on the other page. So after the side hustle, we substitute this expression with this expression. And now what we're going to do is we're going to simplify as much as we can, which really in this case is just to combine the two like numerators. So we're going to multiply 6x minus 5 times 6x minus 5 squared. So here's what we're going to end up with. It's going to be a big denominator. Everything, by the way, is being multiplied by 4. I could distribute this 4 in, but why? I'm just going to leave it out. That's okay. Usually we're trying to factor things out. Now notice here, I could potentially factor out something else from each of these terms, probably some kind of multiple of 3, but it's okay because we've had a long journey just to get here. So on the top I get 5x cubed minus 8 times this trinomial, 60x cubed minus 75x squared plus 48. And on the bottom, I'm just going to get 6x minus 5 to the third since I'm multiplying these two together. And that should do it for this problem.